and welcome to another edition of our weekly lectures on market psychology and how to manage ourselves during trading or before trading, during trading, and after trading. Have you ever been in that situation after taking a very, very bad day? Let's say a losing streak, or maybe just a bad day, and you feel like the world is coming to an end. What do you do in this moment? How do you carry yourself? How do you go through this process? How you carry yourself and how you maintain that emotional calmness is what differentiates those that win consistently in the market and those that struggle consistently in the market. So, today we are going to be talking about the self soothing nature of a caregiver in trading. This is a topic that I think most people just underlook, and most people don't even know that their inner child, their own selves, are sometimes or is sometimes the greatest difficulty that they face in the market, and not even the charts. And so, after taking a loss, many people flare up and they let all hell break loose. Some people even go to an extent of breaking their phones, destroying things. But the truth is that the market is not against you. You yourself, you are the greatest person who is against you. So most of the time, you are the one standing in front of your own success in trading. That is why I always tell students that they themselves are the weakest point in their own strategy. And until they master themselves, there is still going to be a lot of problems in trading. So today we are going to be talking about how you can self-suit yourself. So suiting yourself is simply your ability to comfort yourself. Let's take, for example, if somebody comes to you in a desperate situation, maybe they lost a family member, a loved one, or let's bring it into our trading environment. After taking a series of losses, what are you going to tell this person? These are the same things that we should do with our own self once we take a loss in trading, or maybe we are going through a hard period where we have been taking those stop losses hit back to back. So, trading is always going to put us in a lot of financial, emotional, and physical pressure. Your ability to maintain a calm state during trading, after trading, and even before trading is what truly sets you apart from the crowd. So, in the world of trading, numbers dominate charts, candle, profits, losses. But beneath those numbers lies something deeper, the trader's emotional stability. To strive in the market, a trader must become both a strategist and a caregiver, someone who understands, nurtures, and manages their own emotional states, especially under pressure, because there is no way you are going to trade or be in a trading environment without you facing this pressure over and over again. So your ability to do this, to nurture yourself, is what will truly set you apart. But you hear most mentors out there, they don't talk about all of these things. And most people, they always try to sideline this, right? Because it is far more easier for us to blame situations out of our own self than for us to take personal responsibility for our own actions. So you hear traders commonly say the market hunted my stop loss, or institutions were after your stop loss, the market was manipulated, or your broker manipulated the market. Right. At times, this could be true. At times, it is just our own excuses that we are trying to do so. Even if this is true, taking personal responsibility and accountability for your actions in the market is what is going to lead to long-term consistency and growth in trading. So if you're always blaming the market, blaming your broker, blaming your mentor, blaming situations out of your own self, long-term growth is going to be something very difficult for you. And over a period of time, when you develop this nature of blaming things, blaming nature, blaming things, or maybe blaming the market, you are always going to be in that emotional trade. So this is where the self-soothing nature of a caregiver becomes very important. When the down days are there, when the red days are there, when the losses keep coming in back to back. So if you have ever experienced that emotional state where when you take a trade and you lose, you feel like you should break something or you should kill somebody, let us know in the comment section. Let us know how you felt at that moment and let us know how you dealt with that situation. So if this is your first time coming across our channel, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to give us a comment, because by you giving us a like, you are recommending this video. You're telling the YouTube algorithm that this is a good content, and please recommend this to other traders. And by you hitting that notification button, you are going to keep updated with everything that we post on the channel. So your mental state and your emotional state is what truly sets you apart from the traders that we have out there. So today we are going to look at how we can develop this self-soothing nature in ourselves, so that when we take those losses, it is not going to affect our performance, and it is not going to make us feel as if we are the worst traders or the worst people on earth. So why does this lesson really matters? Trading failure does not really come from maybe your charts, right? Because if we have a strategy, let's say we give you a strategy like a trend line break and retest, maybe a trend line bounce. Those are strategies that we use in the market. We have these strategies, and there are a lot of strategies out there, technical strategies that work. But ask yourself that why is it that with the wide number of strategies that we have out there, why is it that most people are still not making money in the market? We have just about 5%, or let's say to a greater extent, 10% of people making money in the market, while the rest of the 90% are losing money. So I always tell my students again that the people that built the trading environment, or the people that worked on this thing called trading, they are very, very intelligent people. Why? Because they understood human nature, and they looked into and they took advantage of our most vulnerable part, and that is our emotions. And that is where the market always targets, and that is where most of the problems in trading comes in. So the market does not care how motivated you are, how broke you are, or what situation you find yourself at that particular moment. You might need money, but the market does not care if you need that money. If you do the wrong thing, the market is still going to punish you. So uh, trading failure is not mostly because the strategy is wrong, but it is because of our unregulated inner state. So, to win consistently in the market, you must be a caregiver to your emotions or of your emotions. Now, emotions are inherent part and parcel of every one of us, meaning that there is no human being or maybe no trader out there that does not experience fear. Excuse me. No trader out there does not experience fear, anger, frustration. All of us, no matter how long you have been trading, no matter how experienced you are still going to be bombarded by all of these emotions. So, how do you carry yourself when the emotions begin to come up? That is where your greatest breakthrough as a trader is. So, there is a saying that goes, thus, know thyself. And this saying is so important in trading. If you cannot understand yourself, your own negative patterns and your own positive patterns, you are always going to stand in front of your own trading success. So, this is where the greatest lesson comes from. So, this lesson is very important because if your emotions are unregulated, you are always going to be trading out of emotions, trading out of impulse. All right. So at every candle that gives you, every candle that the market throws at you, you become impulsive, right? So when this happens, That is where the biggest losses come in trading. So trading behaves like an emotional child. So in every human being that we have out there, there is something that we call an inner child. And most of us, we haven't healed that inner child in us. It is always that inner child that always, if you take, for example, people that always want to be pampered, people that always want to uh like they transfer their own emotional states onto others. Somebody is feeling sad, but now instead of finding out or working on what is causing their sadness, they always try to transfer it to another person. So that is an example of the inner child. And in trading, this inner child is always going to be showing up. And when this inner child comes up, instead of us working on it, we begin to blame outer environments, we begin to blame outer situations, right? So the emotional battlefield in trading is so real. So trading is not only about the strategies that we use, it is the psychological war zone. Impulsive actions, fear, impatience, panic, exits on your trades early are signs of an emotionally unregulated trader. All right. So every trade triggers an emotion: excitement, greed, fear, regret, euphoria, especially after a winning streak. You begin to feel as if you are the best trader out there. But after you take a loss, you begin to feel as if you are the worst trader out there. This is our inner child talking. Without emotional regulation, even the best strategy will collapse. Like a caregiver calming a distressed child, like you telling somebody, oh, take care, it is going to be okay. All right. And maybe somebody is in a bad situation and you begin to calm that person. That is the same way in which we traders must learn to calm our own self, especially after losing. A trader must learn to calm their own inner turbulence when the market becomes volatile. So the losing trade feels like rejection. And when we are rejected, the inner child in us is always going to come up. In our daily lives, when you feel rejected by maybe your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, that inner child begins to speak loud. The winning trade can create overconfidence. The uncertainty of the next move can breed anxiety. And these are all emotional states that we always find ourselves in as trader. A self-soothing trader recognizes this emotion but does not react to it impulsively. So instead, they observe, breathe, and respond with clarity. Remember, we said these emotions are always going to come up. So we can never have freedom from emotions, but we can have freedom of emotions. So those that trade the biggest lot sizes out there, it does not mean that they don't feel the fear, they don't feel the anger, they don't feel the frustration. They do feel all of this. But the big difference is how they choose to respond to all of these emotional state. That is where the big difference in trading comes in. That is where the big role of a caregiver begins to come in our trading. So what does it mean to be a caregiver in trading? A caregiver nurtures, protects, and heals, right? So when you take a losing trade, in the same way that you begin to calm somebody who finds themselves in a difficult situation, that is the same way that you begin to nurture yourself. You protect and you heal. All right. So when you take a losing trade, instead of holding up to that trade, holding on to it, today you are thinking about it, tomorrow you're thinking about it, the next day you're thinking about it, you must be able to heal from that. If you're not able to heal from that, it is going to follow you onto your next trade. And when it follows you onto your next trade, the same mistakes that you made previously, you are going to make those same mistakes again. So, how many of you have said, I am not going to do this? You look at yourself, you draw your plan, and you say, I am not going to repeat this same mistake again. But the next day, you find yourself doing exactly the same thing that you swore you were never going to do this. So, in trading, being a caregiver means that means that you show compassion for yourself when you lose, offering patience when the setup is delayed. Being a caregiver also means providing encouragement to yourself instead of criticizing yourself when you make a mistake. Most people, when they make a mistake, right, they are going to feel as if they're the worst persons on earth, and they start telling themselves, I can never make it in this trading. That is a very fat lie. Every human being makes mistake. That is the reality of it. As long as you're a human being, you are always going to be making mistakes. But those that truly strive, those that can really maintain a caregiver state of mind, are those that can recognize their mistakes and they learn from their mistakes, seeing your mistake as a stepping stone to higher growth rather than seeing it as a roadblock to your entire journey. All right, it might be your trading journey, it might be your family life, it might be your business life, it might be your school life, right? So, all of these things. Now, the reason why I love trading so much is because trading does not only teach you how to become a rich person, and that is what most people come in and they are focusing on: money, 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 money. And you get to a particular point in time and then you begin to realize that if your personality does not shift, your result as a trader does not shift as well. All right, so creating safety through a risk management and a discipline plan, that is what it means for you to be a caregiver in trading. So when you play both trader and caregiver, you build that emotional resilience. You build that strong mindset where you can see losses, you see mistakes, you see failure from a different perspective. In mindset and in psychology, we have two different types of minds. We have a fixed mindset and we have a growth mindset. And most of people that we have, most of our traders that we have there, or maybe most people that we have there, they are so fixated on a fixed mindset. Those people that feel as if opportunities are limited, that is why you chase setups in the market. You see mistakes as failures. That is why you keep on failing. All right. So, subconsciously, most people don't understand that by tolerating these negative patterns, they are creating more danger for themselves in their daily lives and especially in their trading. So, when you play both the trader and a caregiver, you build emotional resilience, a mind that can withstand the chaos and still make clear decisions. So, being a successful trader does not mean that you are going to eliminate fear, you're going to eliminate anger, you're going to eliminate frustration. That is a very fat lie. And most people will always tell you that keep your emotions at the door or don't trade with emotions. There is no way that you are going to keep out emotions. Wherever you run to, wherever you go to, even if you dig the earth and enter under the earth, right? Your fears, your anxiety, your frustrations are still going to follow you right deep to your grave, right? So there is this song from Lucky Dube, and he says, no matter how far you run, your troubles will still find you. So, as a trader, know that with these negative patterns, even if you have the best strategy or the best indicator out there, you are still going to be losing in trading. And a lot of people are struggling today, not because their strategy has a problem, but it is because of their own inner turbulence. Okay, so the power of a self-soothing trader. A self-soothing trader is the ability to regulate your emotions, right? To calm the body, to calm the mind, to calm the to calm your emotions, right? So your body, when you are in a situation where you are fearful, when there is greed coming up, when there is anger coming up, when there is frustrations coming up, right? your body is going to signal to you that there is something happening, there is something wrong. And you might find yourself sweating a lot. You might find yourself even shaking, right? That is your body telling you that your emotions are unregulated. You will find your mind jumping from one thought to the next. Should I get out? Should I hold on? Should I close this profit? Should I move my stop loss? That is a typical mind that has not been calm. So, if you have been functioning under this mindset, let us know in the comment section and let us know specifically what you are facing. And from this, we are going to be able to do more of these lectures so that it helps you. So if you have a problem or you have a situation that you have been facing for a long period of time in trading, and you seem not to understand or to heal this problem, just let us know in the comment section, and we are going to be happy to do a lecture and to help you on how to do all of this. Right, so the link to my Telegram channel is also in the description. My number is always there. You're always free to reach out, and we are going to help you with this. All right, so a self-soothing trader, as we have said, is the ability to regulate our emotions, right, during distress without seeking external validation. It is what keeps a trader from revenge trading, from panic selling, or from abandoning their plan. Some practical self-soothing methods we are still going to look at this stage. All right, we are going to look at some practical methods that we can look at it. So, without a self-soothing nature, right, trading is going to absolutely destroy you. Sorry, trading is going to kill you, right? You are going to be happy today, sad tomorrow, happy the next day, sad the next day. All right. So by breathing and by breathing, right? Breathing is one of the most powerful tools that a trader can have. Not only traders, whether you're in business, whether you're in what part in life, whenever you find yourself in that emotional state, the best thing you could do is to breathe, right? So we are going to look at all of these in detail. So when without a self-soothing nature, trading is always going to feel as if you are forcing something in the market. So in our last class, I was telling my students that if you are trading and you feel as if the process is being forced, or you're feeling that inner pressure in you, definitely you are doing something wrong. To me, trading is supposed to feel effortless, it is supposed to flow. And this is the state of mind that every trader should strive to get into, that ability to be in a flow state. All right, that is it. That is what you need as a trader. Without this self-soothing nature, right, you are going to FOMO after you miss a setup. You're going to revenge trade after the market leaves you behind, or maybe after you take a losing trade. And this is our impulsive nature. You take impulsive entries and you doubt your setups. When the market gives you a confirmation, you want to see more confirmations. And this is the emotional cycle that destroys traders, not even because the market is too difficult. All right. So, breathing is one of the techniques, as I was saying, that we do when we are in this situation. By breathing, you are going to calm this emotional state. And we could also use affirmations, right? By saying that I am a calm trader. I am in control. Every trade I take is a lesson. This is something that you could write down on a piece of paper. You place it in front of your screen or your trading decks, so that whenever you step on your trading decks, you are going to see this and it is going to reflect in your mind, right? So we could also use things like rituals, right? We could also use something like rituals, and you review your journals. Rituals are just something that we do over and over, right? So if you are more religious orientated, you're going to hear of religious rituals, right? And every time you step into a Catholic church, they have their mass, which is a ritual, right? And this is something that they do often, always and always. And by your rituals in trading, you are going to be journaling your trading journey, reviewing your journals, looking at what you did right, looking at what you did wrong, and then you come back to it, and your journal is going to help you meditating or stretching your body, right, in between lessons, taking a cool bath before your trading. These are things that you can do to calm down your emotional state, all right? And shifting your perspective, and instead of seeing losses as a whole problem to your entire trading or as roadblocks, you begin to see those losses as data, not as personal failure. So a self-soothing trader remains the same person after a loss, calm, reflective, and focused, right? So emotional intelligence is the heart of caregiving. A caregiving trader is emotionally intelligent. They understand that the goal is not to avoid emotions, like I've been telling you, but to manage them. They know when to pause, when to trade, and when to walk away. That is the most important thing that you could do as a trader. You know when to say, this is enough. I don't want to do this again. So when you take a losing trade, and you feel all those emotions coming up, just close your trading your computer, right? And you just go walk away from it, take a walk, and it is going to rebalance your emotional state. They build a system that protects them from their impulsive self, all right, through journaling, through fixed position sizing, and daily mental reset. This is the emotional shift that every trader builds. Okay, so your emotional discipline in trading will determine your financial destiny. It is not even your strategy. There are many strategies out there, a lot of them, but most traders are not still making money. All right, so usually it is not really the strategy that has a problem, but the mind behind the strategy that has a problem. All right, so say to yourself, I am the guardian of my emotions. I respond. I do not react. No market outcome can destabilize me. That is the mind of a trader. That is the trader that knows what they are doing. All right. So these simple practices that we have been looking at, like the 15-minute pause, all right, the 5-second pause, or the 1-minute pause before you take a trade, and the pause after you take a losing trade, they are going to serve you a lot. All right, these practical exercises, journaling your emotions, journaling your trade, reviewing your journal, looking at yourself, how you responded to the trade before, during, and after the trade. These are some of the most practical ways in which you can work on your emotional self. Now, building this self soothing habit is not going to happen in one day. It is not going to happen in one day. A habit is something that we have done over and over and over in such a way that it sticks in our subconscious mind. And most at times, we don't even need the conscious mind for us to perform this activity. So, the best example that I can think of right now is okay. The best example that I can think of is when you place your hand on a hot object. There is nobody that is going to tell you that take that hand away from that hot pot. Since the pot is hot and your mind subconsciously already knows that this is dangerous, once you place your hand on that thing, right, your hand is going to immediately leave that hot pot without anybody saying that. So this self-giving nature, or this self-soothing nature, and the whole trading process as well, needs to become like a habit. So like any muscle that we build, right? Like any muscle that we build in our body, like anybody that uh like any muscle that we build in our body, we have to cultivate emotional stability, and it must be trained over a period of time, and you cannot do it all at once. We need to start small. The first thing that we do is that we acknowledge that these emotions are there, and these emotions, though they are good, they serve us in our day-to-day life. When we bring them into trading, they will not serve us right. They are not going to serve us well. So the first thing in emotional regulation is recognizing which emotion is coming up. And the second thing is naming that emotion. And then the third thing, you find out what that emotion is telling you. And the fourth thing is that you disassociate yourself from that emotion. So you label them without judgment. Once you begin to judge your emotion, the fear, oh, I'm too fearful, blah 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 blah, that is when that is when the market has you most in its trap. Okay. And you respond slowly. Okay. That is how you're going to be building that self-soothing habit. Responding slowly, counting to 10, all right, or maybe giving the 5 or the 15-second rule, or maybe 5 minutes or 5 seconds before pressing that buy or sell button. That pause in between that execution, right, is going to bring back your mind to the present moment. And the big problem is that most traders are always trading from the past. Because you won yesterday, you think that you are going to win today, or maybe you lost yesterday, you think that this trade today could be a losing trade. Now, you are not trading based on what is happening in the market at the present moment. You're trading based on past performance, and your ability to bring back your mind into the present moment is what is going to really, really guide you, not only as a trader, but as a human being as well. If you look at most people in the world right now, right, they are never living in the present moment. They are always living either in the past or they are living in the future. You're either thinking about what had passed and wishing that this could happen now, or regretting over it, or maybe feeling anxious over the future. That is where most people live their life. They never live their life in the present moment. So as a trader, if you're sitting in your room, let your mind be in that room. You cannot be sitting in front of your trading desk and you're thinking about your girlfriend outside, or maybe you're thinking about the food outside, you're thinking about what you're going to do next. That is not where your mind should be. Now, you celebrate your discipline in trading, not your outcome. That is how you build the self-soothing nature gradually. Celebrate your discipline, your patience. By this, you are going to be celebrating your process. You are going to be basing your success in trading based on the process, okay? And the process is where success is found in trading, not in outcomes. You could make a mistake in trading and still make money, but it does not make that trade really the best win for you. So when you make a mistake and you make money, or you trade emotionally and you make money, still journal that trade as a losing trade. Okay, still journal that trade as a losing trade. Now, uh, each each of your trading day, right? End each of your trading day with gratitude. You showed up, you learned, and you improved. And over time, this habit rewires your nervous system, right, to stay composed during high stress situations. And this is the true mark of a professional trader. So, how many of you listening to me now can maintain that emotional calm after a losing trade or a losing streak or a losing trade? How many of you can truly do that? Let us know in the comment section. So the outcome of this is going to be very, very good for you. So when you build this emotional state, right? When you build this state in you, it is not only going to affect you in your daily life, but it is going in your trading. It is going to affect you across different fields, and you are going to be benefiting from this nature, from this new you. All right. So becoming a trader will demand you or requires for you to become a new person. All right. There is this saying from the Bible that says, uh, let this mind that was in Christ Jesus be in you. All right. So you must develop a new mind. You must rewire your mind. That mindset shift, that emotional shift must happen in your trading if you need to become a professional trader in future. Without this, my friends, trading is always going to feel like a burden to you. Now, the reason why most people are failing is because first, they come in with the wrong expectations in the market. Secondly, they think that by mastering technical analysis, they are going to be able to master trading, which is a very fat lie, okay? A very fat lie. In as much as technicals is important, there is always going to be a problem, all right, in your trading. So please, you need to really work on this. Without this nature as a trader, right? Trading is always going to feel as if it is a process that you are forcing, okay? So please, in as much as you work on your strategy, work on the person that is executing that strategy, all right? So you're going to experience more calmer execution, more emotional states, more emotional stability, more discipline, and more clarity, right? So this shift is the beginning of a new you, the change of your identity, uh, the change of your identity to a new person. You become both the trader, right? That is a caregiver, and the person that builds the 1% mindset. All right. This is the mindset that is going to set you apart from traders out there. So the truth is that the market rewards not the smartest, right? But the calmest of traders. If you see successful traders or professional traders out there, they are very calm people by nature. All right. So you need to become that trader that is very calm, all right, especially under pressure. When you master a self-soothing nature, okay, you turn this your inner chaos into clarity and pressure into focus. You stop chasing all trades in the market. Every candle that winks at you, you want to jump at it. You stop chasing it and you start attracting opportunities through patience, through presence, and through purpose. The caregiver mindset, right, is the mindset that transforms you from an emotional roller coaster, right, into a journey of self mastery. The new you is not only going to shift you from a professional trader, but it is going to shift you into a professional human being as well. Somebody that understands themselves, somebody that can withstand any pressure that life throws at them. Now, I'll always tell people that the reality is that it is not usually what life throws at you, it is not usually what happens to you, right? That that is bad. It is how you choose to respond to what happens to you, okay, that is going to cause the biggest problem in trading. So when you respond with a calm mind, when you respond instead of reacting, this is where you are going to see significant changes in your trading. So, my friends, your ability to maintain that calm state of mind. Okay, so I think I did a video on maintaining a calm self under pressure in trading, and you can always go back to the channel and you look at all of this under the playlist on market psychology and mindset. You are going to find this video there, how to maintain a calm nature under pressure. And you maintain this calm nature by developing, excuse me, a self-soothing nature of a caregiver. A caregiver is somebody that takes care of somebody. Take, for example, your parents, your mom especially. Mothers are a perfect examples of caregivers. You pamper your baby, you watch your baby, you take care of the baby, you feed the baby, and you do everything for the baby. That is the nature of a caregiver. And when you bring that self into trading, right, it is going to reflect your indiscipline, your impatient, your lack of a self-soothing nature, your lack of courage outside of trading is going to follow you into trading, whether you like it or not. So you must build this nature out of trading as well, so that you can simply transition this nature into your trading. And when you transition this nature into your trading, you are going to see significant changes in the way you trade. You are going to be very, very surprised. Now, when you listen to me every week, every time, the key is not just to come and listen to me ramble over what, go through words, right? The key and the most important part is for you to listen and you put all of these into practice. A steady mind creates steady results, and your peace is part of your strategy. If you get up in a day and your wife or your girlfriend or maybe somebody made you angry, that is not a day for you to trade. When your mind is unstable, your trading results are going to be unstable as well. That is it. There is no going back. There is nothing that you can do about it. You will have a good system, but because your emotional state is unbalanced, is not balanced, then it is going to reflect in your chart. So when you sit in front of your screen, you are not only trading the charts, but you're trading your own emotions. And on the collective level, you're trading the general emotions of the market. All right. So it's very, very common for you to hear traders say, I don't know what happened to me. I had a perfect plan before trading, but once I took that trade, I don't know what happened to me. So you only realize the damage that you have done to yourself and to your trading account only when the smoke has cleared. Once the smoke has cleared, you realize that you were not trading out of logic, but you were trading out of emotions. Why? Because your emotions were left unchecked and they will always hijack your thinking mind before you ever getting into that trade. Now, people are going to think that people always think that you first of all think before the emotion comes in. That is a very false or a very fat lie. Thinking is a result of emotions, right? When your emotions have already when your emotions first of all hijack your state of being before thinking even comes up. So your emotions have already fired in a long time ago. So in neuroscience, you're going to see that your emotions takes about 0.00005 seconds for it to travel at a speed equals to the speed of light. All right, and it happens so fast that your thinking mind gets to catch up to it when the damage is already done to your account. And you're going to be saying that, hey, I don't know what happened. I was really calm before my trading, but when I took that trade, everything changed. That is the big problem in trading. That is where we face a lot of difficulty in trading. So, my friends, building a self-soothing nature as a caregiver in trading is not luxury. It is a necessity, and most traders, they don't know this. And those that even know, they always try to overlook it, and they always try to bend the market to their will. You are trying to bend the market to your will in an environment where there is uncertainty, all right, and you don't control everything. You don't control the weather, but you're trying to bend the weather to your will. You know that there is going to be a thunderstorm today, but you still find yourself under the rain. Then normally you're going to catch a cold because you're trying to bend the weather to your will. So every tick of the market will test your inner peace. Every move in the market will put you under pressure. Every mistake, every time you get into the trading environment, because of your uncertainty, because of the way that the mind usually responds to risks, uncertainty, and to losses, you are always going to find yourself responding emotionally and impulsively, right? So you sit in front of that machine and you think that you're that logical trader trading. But once real money is in line, oh, my friends, that little mind, that small thing in your mind called the amygdala or the reptilian mind or the amygdala, right? The emotional mind. And some people even call it the caveman brain, the ancient brain. That is the mind that begins to come up. Because to your mind, trading is a risky something. When you're trading, all right, it is not just you trading. It is like you being in front of a tiger or in front of a lion. So imagine yourself being in front of the lion, of a lion. The way that your mind is going to respond is in three ways. It is either you fight that lion, it is either you flee from that lion, or it is either you freeze. These are the natural ways in which our minds respond to risks, uncertainty, and to losses, to mistakes, right? So you need the opposite of this, because trading requires you to be able to dance in the face of uncertainty. Trading requires you to be able to accept losses gracefully. Trading requires you to be able to make mistakes and don't still get emotionally disturbed by all of these things. So, the trader who learns to care for their own emotions, right, will become unshakable, no longer controlled by fear, by greed, but they are guided by discipline, compassion, and by wisdom. This is the true mark of a professional trader. This is a true mark of somebody who is going to survive this trading environment in a long term. So, my friends, the problem usually is not in your strategy, but it is in the person or the mind that is executing that strategy. So, in trading, you do not need to control the market and you do not control the market. You only need to control your own self. That is the big gap, or that is the big shift that you must make in trading. The mind that we are bringing into trading was not just naturally bred for this trading environment. Okay, so we need to shift this mindset. We need to rewire this mind to function in this new environment called trading. So, trading, I always like to tell people, is like taking a fish out of water. So the mind that we are bringing into trading is like taking a fish out of water, then placing it on land and expecting that fish to function exactly in the same way in which it will function in the sea. Probably that fish is going to die out of no oxygen and out of its own inability to strive in the new environment. So, for it to strive in a new environment, it must be able to adapt to that environment. So, the most profitable traders out there are not those that are so intelligent, right? Even in the business world, it is not those that have so much knowledge. that strive, but it is those that have the ability to adapt. Right. So how far we grow in life, or our ability to strive in life, does not really depend on our ability to gather all the knowledge and the information that we have out there, but it is in our ability to adapt to changing situations. Life is always going to throw changes at us. The market is always going to throw changes at us. The market will always be uncertain. Life is always going to be uncertain. Things are going to change. Everything is going to change. So it is not your ability to have the most knowledge, but your ability to adapt to changing situations that is going to be the measure change in your trading. So, my friends, if you have watched us, or if you have listened to me right up to the end of this video, it means that there is something that caught your attention, and this something you must decide to work on it, and you must be doing this gradually. I always tell my students that there is no need for you to rush in trading. Take trading one step at a time. Give the market ample time for it to experience you and for you to experience the market. All right. So when you go to get a job, right, they are going to ask you, how many years of experience do you have? Or maybe they put you through a probation period so that you have experience. It is not because these people are wicked. It is because they know that your experience in that field is going to guide you to perform perfectly. So give yourself ample time to experience the market and for the market to experience you. That is the true mark of those that strive in the trading environment. So, my friends, if you have watched us right to the end of this video, please make sure to give us a like, make sure to comment, make sure to also share this to your traders out there. Share it, and a lot of people are going to strive. Now, the forex market has over 7 trillion US dollar being traded every day. So no matter how much you make or I make in trading, it's not going to stop another person from making money in trading. All right. So be generous. The law of giving states that you will have to give for you to receive. And giving does not only mean that you give out things, right? Material things to people. Your good thoughts about people is giving. Your liking my video is giving. Your supporting this channel to grow is your giving. The name Easy FX does not pertain to me, but it pertains to every trader that we have out there. And so, if you want to become a member of the Easy FX community, and you don't have enough financial capital to get into our pro program, then you can join our Telegram channel, right? This is the link. The link is also in our description, okay? And we always teach on our Telegram channel on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. So we do an early week analysis, we do a midweek analysis and lectures combined, and we do an end of week lectures and analysis as well. It is going to help you. And if you want to take your trading to the next level, I am going to highly advise you to get into our pro program, right? And you are going to see significant changes in the way you trade, in the way you carry yourself around, in the way you do things. Here is our WhatsApp and our call and our telephone number. You just need to call the number, or you reach out to me on WhatsApp, and I will be very, very happy to respond to your questions. And if you want to go through mentorship, right, from beginners to professional, please hit us up and we are going to guide you on this journey step by step. And we always tell you that trading success is built on three pillars. The first pillar is your mindset, your psychology, and your ability to nurture your emotions. That is your emotional maturity, right? The second thing is your methodology that has to do with your technical analysis. And the third thing is your choice of broker. And that is why we recommend Xness as our choice broker. Now, there are only two brokers out there. We have Xness and we have other brokers. So this is a link to create your trading account. The link is also found in the description. It is also found in the comment section, in the pin section of the comment section. Create your account. The videos to create, verify, and do everything that pertains to your Xness account is also found in the channel. So make use of the free content that we have. And if you want to be a member of our pro community, then you should. We don't only teach about Forex in our pro community. We have different things that we also teach as well. All right, because we understand that as a trader you cannot depend just on one source of income. So we teach our traders many things, how to build different sources of income, and we show you how to do that. Not only teach you, but we show you how to do it. So my friends, if you really like this video, please don't forget to give us a like, a comment, and a share, and hit that notification button so that anytime we drop any content, you are going to be one of the first people or the first persons to receive this. And until next time, God bless you all. May the universe continue to guide, protect, nurture, and provide for you each and every step of the way. God bless you all and have a great rest of your time. Bye bye.